Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. Now let's deal with the 18th nakshatra of Jyeshtha Nakshatra, the second half of Scorpio. Now, this part of Scorpio is got to do more with power, more with authority, respect, status. Okay? Jyeshtha Nakshatra people typically end up in law enforcement, police, military. The one who looks quietly at the masses, generally speaking, and waits for the criminal to do something unworthy, okay, and then they'll go and nab them. So it's an authority which sort of watches silently. That's the energy of this nakshatra. They have a very strong sense of intuition, things that can go wrong in the future. They keep on anticipating a lot, not just based on the present situations, but rather on what will be the consequence of certain actions happening right now. So you see how this makes Jyeshtha Nakshatra dominant people in law enforcement, in military, in secret service. So the Scorpio is secretive. So Scorpio with authority and power comes in this particular nakshatra, Jyeshtha, the elder one. Let us see now generally what happens in different padas, and then we'll get into specifics. First pada, Scorpio going into Sagittarius. So there is a 2-12 relationship right there. Pada 1 will have resources they did not work for. Scorpio, 8th house. Okay. Resources can be anything such as knowledge, new ideas, or proper guidance from a father. Sagittarius is second from Scorpio, natal to Navamsha. I've spoken of this in earlier nakshatras as well. Don't just see one nakshatra because I keep sharing whatever comes to my head. Okay, I'm just openly sharing everything. You have to look at every nakshatra and pada to really get this stuff. And so your intuition, your knowledge kicks in, so to speak. Okay, remember this. They will not give donations to other people. Misers in nature, Sagittarius, Scorpio, 212, there is always a dynamic of wealth gain and loss. Misers in nature will keep the wealth to themselves only. Scorpio, 12th to Sagittarius. So whatever they are getting, they are trying to keep only for themselves. That's pada 1. Speaking of pada 2, Scorpio going into Capricorn. So there is a 11-3 relationship there. These people will try to gain the position or do work in manipulation and secrecy. The secrecy part of Scorpio comes here. Like I said, like secret service, working in FBI, CIA, or intelligence agency, so to speak. Causes harm by keeping resources to the self. Why am I telling work, by the way? There is Capricorn involved. So there is some work has to be done there. And in secret, because it is Scorpio going to Capricorn. Hidden work. They may cause harm by keeping resources to self and not sharing with employees. They will tend to bargain a lot with servants. Why am I talking about servants? Because it is Capricorn here. Miserly. Capricorn is miserly and a servant class. Will not give bonuses to them, will not take care of elderly. Capricorn is also old people. Not taking care of elderly at home falls here. Third pada is Scorpio going into Aquarius. So there is something earning money by illegal means, by cheating. Let's see. Scorpio is 10th to Aquarius. Aquarius is 4th from Scorpio. So there is a 10-4 relationship of karma. Will not follow any fixed rules. Rahu hates rules of any kind. He will do everything to break every rule there is in the book, even rule written by the divine. Will oppose traditions within the family. Aquarius, 4th from Scorpio. Wanting to achieve one's desires by hook or by crook, like Aquarius, like I said. Aquarius wants everything by hook or by crook. Okay? Self-interest to the extreme. Will not listen to good counsel and a lot of emotional turmoil and obsession, along with unsolvable troubles in home and property. Home and property, why? Because it is 10-4 relationship. 4th is home, 10 is your property. So that kind of a thing. 4th pada, Scorpio going into Pisces, 9-5 relationship. Pisces is 5th from Scorpio, Scorpio is 9th from Pisces. Private individual, Pisces is very isolatory in nature, separated from others, no interactions, and they prefer living in isolation. Again, Pisces, the 12th house. Karma with birds, not feeding and destroying the nests and so on. You have to reflect on this because Virgo is 5th from Pisces, 7th from Pisces. Donate regularly to transgender people. Why transgender people fall under Mercury? Both Saturn and Mercury are genderless signs. Capricorn, Aquarius, Virgo and Gemini. That's why donating to transgender people might help, since this is also a Mercury ruled nakshatra, by the way. Donate books to little children for their education. Help birds build nests, and feeding birds regularly might kind of solve this issue. Most of all, though, I would say be conscious of this. This is the reason for this entire channel, by the way. Unless you're conscious of what karma it is that you're solving and why is it playing the way it is playing out in your life, nothing much is going to happen, isn't it? People expect to throw something here and there, wear some gemstones, or go and do a number of pujas and get rid of all this stuff. This is like a cop-out, folks. Get mature, spiritually mature. If you find some planets or points in Jyeshtha Nakshatra going from natal to Navamsha, study this further in the podcast. Let me know in comment box what you think. Enjoy and share.
Podcast segment title, The Four Padas of Jyeshtha Nakshatra. Subtitle, Planetary Principles and the Inner-Outer Karma Blueprint of Authority, Isolation, and Sacred Responsibility. Introduction. Jyeshta, the Elder, the Protector, and the Karmic Holder of Power. Jyeshtha Nakshatra spans from 16 Vrudi to 30 in Scorpio and is ruled by Indra, the King of the Gods. It symbolizes seniority, psychic strength, and protection, but also the burdens and temptations that come with rank, knowledge, and secrecy. With Scorpio's intensity as its base and Mercury's rulership, Jyeshtha natives often inherit power, respect, or resources, but must learn what to do with it. This is the nakshatra of the guardian, the informer, and at times the outcast, testing the soul's maturity in how it handles control, isolation, and unseen karma. Each pada of Jyeshtha reflects a different internal blueprint, from Sagittarian righteousness to Piscean detachment, showing whether one will protect or hoard, guide or manipulate, isolate or uplift. Let's explore how each of the four padas shapes the Jyeshtha journey. Scorpio, 16 degree 40, Torpians 20 points. Navamsha sign, Sagitt elemental shift, water to fire. Motivation, dharma. To preserve status through belief or righteousness, but risks dogma. Inner-outer karma blueprint. Outwardly secretive, emotionally intense, self-protective, Scorpio. Inwardly idealistic, prideful, and rigid in belief, Sagittarius Navamsha. This pada grants resources, ideas, wealth, guidance that often come unearned, but the native may feel overly entitled or overly possessive of them. There's a reluctance to share, often justified through rationalization or perceived superiority. Karmic theme, misuse of privilege, stinginess cloaked as righteousness. Growth path, acknowledge what was inherited, not earned. Share with intention, not pride. Jyeshtha Pada 2, Scorpio 23-20, Navamsha sign, Capricorn Artha Pada, elemental shift, water to earth. Motivation, Artha to climb and secure power, often through control. Inner-outer karma blueprint, externally intense and protective, Scorpio Rashi. Internally calculating, rigid, and power-seeking, Capricorn Navamsha. These natives often achieve material or hierarchical success, but use secrecy and withholding to maintain their control. Their attitude toward helpers or elders may be transactional or dismissive. Karmic theme, control through restriction, coldness toward dependence. Growth path, share responsibility and support with humility. Respect those who serve. Jyeshtha Pada 3, Scorpio 2023 20 2060 40+ sign, Aquarius, Kama Pada elemental shift, water to air. Motivation, Kama to express identity through ideas, freedom, or rebellion. Inner-outer karma blueprint, outwardly willful and intense, Scorpio Rashi. Inwardly unconventional, anti-traditional, and mentally restless, Aquarius Navamsha. This pada resists rules, even those meant to protect. The desire for freedom can turn into self-destruction or damage to family community structures. Refusal to listen leads to deep property, emotional, and ancestral karma. Karmic theme: rebellion without wisdom, alienation from family, growth path. Honor elders, even when you differ. Let independence serve evolution, not ego. Jyeshtha Pada 4, Scorpio 26-40, Navamsha sign. Pisces, moksha elemental shift, water to water. Motivation, moksha, to dissolve individuality into service, but risks escapism. Inner-outer karma blueprint. Outwardly hidden, private, psychologically sensitive, Scorpio Rashi. Inwardly mystical, detached, non-conforming, Pisces Namsha. This pada often withdraws from society. These natives are karmically bound to help the forgotten, children, birds, the marginalized. If they ignore this, they spiral into loneliness or isolation. Transformation arrives through quiet compassion and silent service. Karmic theme: spiritual detachment without earthly application. Growth path: engage the world gently. Serve the invisible with tangible care. Jyeshtha Pada summary: 4 archetypes of the elder's burden. Pada 1: seeks status through belief or knowledge. Trap: moral superiority, hoarding privilege. Growth: teach by giving, earn what you've been given. Pada 2: Capricorn seeks power through control and hierarchy. Trap: withholding, exploitation of staff or elders. Growth: delegate with respect. Power is service. Pada 3: independence, innovation, disruption. Trap: anti-family, prideful rebellion. Growth: use freedom to elevate, not sever, ancestral lines. Pada 4: Pisces, peace through solitude or devotion. Trap: isolation, avoidance of human connection. Growth: quiet service. Engage with the forgotten. Closing thought: in Jyeshta, power must bow to responsibility. Jyeshta gives you keys, but asks, will you use them to open gates for others or lock yourself in? It is the nakshatra of the elder, and the elder's role is not to dominate, but to guide. Whether you rule a kingdom or a room, your leadership is tested not by what you control, but by how you uplift. Next in the series, Mula Nakshatra, where karmic roots are pulled and truth demands sacrifice. Jyeshtha Nakshatra Pada with examples of planets, exploring how planetary placement shapes karma, expression, and evolution across the 4 padas. Jyeshtha Pada 1, Sagittarius Navamsha, Scorpio 16D40 to 20D Gozelites. Outer self Rashi, protective, private, emotionally intense, Scorpio. Inner self Navamsha, belief-driven, dogmatic, reputation-focused, Sagittarius. Motivation, dharma, to guide or lead, but risks entitlement to knowledge or blessings. Examples: Jupiter in Pada 1, inherits wisdom, status, or philosophy through family or past life karma. May become a teacher but hoards information instead of sharing. Result: karmic refinement lies in choosing humility over self-righteousness and using privilege to guide others with integrity. Sun in Pada 1, strong moral stance with potential for public leadership. May act as a hero, archetype, but resists accountability. Karma revolves around using power not for self-importance, but to light the path for others. Moon in Pada 1, emotionally bound to self-image and inherited belief systems. Feels responsible for carrying forward family ideals. Great potential for legacy building, but must watch for pride-based detachment from emotional needs of others. Jyeshtha Pada 2, Capricorn Navamsha, Scorpio 20 degrees 0 to 23:20. Outer self, strategic, intense, emotionally resourceful, Scorpio. Inner self, structured, practical, but cold and controlling, Capricorn. Motivation, Artha, to build and retain, often through secrecy or power control. Examples: Saturn in Pada 2, builds empire slowly but can be overly harsh with employees or family members. Believes love must be earned. Result: karma improves when the native learns softness and generosity. Power without compassion becomes a burden. Venus in Pada 2, loves through acts of control or withholding. May attract partners who reflect their own resistance to emotional vulnerability. Result: emotional intimacy only deepens when giving becomes equal to receiving. Mercury in Pada 2, clever in business or communication, but may use manipulation to maintain power dynamics. Result: great analytical or leadership skill, but must avoid transactional or coercive interactions to avoid karmic pushback. Pada 3, Aquarius, Navamsha, Scorpio 23, degree 20, 26 40. Outer self, deep, observant, karmically loaded. Inner self, progressive, erratic, independent Aquarius. Motivation, Kama to express uniqueness, but may isolate from tradition and community. Examples, Rahu in Pada 3 disrupts family structures for self-gain, may bring technological brilliance, but disregard for emotional consequences. Result, innovation must serve collective healing, not just personal ambition. Otherwise, karma brings alienation. Mars in Pada 3, fighter for causes but can become hostile to ancestral roots or elders. Result, great activist or changemaker, but karmic tests arrive when ego overtakes purpose. Mercury in Pada 3, brilliant mind, unconventional communicator, but rebellious for the sake of being different. Result, karma improves when uniqueness is used to uplift others rather than disrupt stability. Jyeshtha Pada 4, Pisces Navamsha, Scorpio 2640-30, outer self. Mysterious, deep power conscious. Inner self, dreamy, spiritual, escapist, or mystical. Motivation, moksha, to dissolve worldly attachments, but risks isolation or confusion. Examples, Ketu in Pada 4, profoundly withdrawn, either spiritually advanced or emotionally unreachable, may reject society or identity labels entirely. Result, karma centers around finding service in solitude, helping the invisible or neglected brings evolution. Moon in Pada 4, highly psychic and emotionally sensitive, may withdraw from people but deeply affected by suffering in the world. Result, healing comes through service to those who cannot speak for themselves, especially children or animals. Venus in Pada 4, romantic ideals of love clash with karmic emotional pain or detachment. Result, must spiritualize relationship ideals and avoid escapism or neglect in love. Jyeshtha Pada summary, 4 expressions of the elder's responsibility. Pada 1, Sagittarius, seeks righteous leadership and control of wisdom. Trap, arrogance, hoarding knowledge or blessings. Growth, teach openly, share what was inherited, not earned. Pada 2, Capricorn, seeks material and hierarchical security. Trap, controlling others through silence or lack of reward. Empower others. Your leadership is proven in generosity. Pada 3, Aquarius seeks creative disruption and freedom. Trap, disharmony in home, rejection of tradition. Growth, be the rebel who heals, not one who fragments. Pada 4, Pisces, seeks solitude, spiritual peace. Trap, emotional isolation, denial of social responsibility. Growth, quiet devotion to those who cannot ask, live karma through compassion. Conclusion, in Jyeshtha, authority is earned only when it is used to uplift. To be the eldest is not a title, it's a role. Whether through inheritance, talent, or age, the Jyeshtha soul carries more, knows more, and therefore owes more to those behind them. Power that isolates becomes poison. Power that nurtures becomes legacy. In this nakshatra, your spiritual maturity is tested by how you handle your throne. Will you hoard it or hold space for others to rise?